Ever have that unsettling thought about the ground just opening up?
You mean literally, not like metaphorically bad day opening up?
Exactly. A real physical hole
Ugh.
just appearing, swallowing things.
Ah, yeah. Sinkholes. It sounds like science fiction, but it happens.
It really does. And they're basically depressions, right? Where water can't drain off the surface naturally. It's well, a fascinating geological thing, sometimes pretty dramatic.
Absolutely. And they come in all shapes and sizes. Some are just small dips you barely notice.
Mhm.
Others are these absolutely massive chasms, formed in different ways, too.
And that's exactly what we're getting into today. We've looked at a bunch of sources, pulled together a list of some really incredible sinkholes from all over the world.
Right. The idea is to understand them a bit better.
Yeah, look at the different types, the stories behind some of them. Just give you a good, solid overview of what these things are all about.
And the scale we're talking about is, well, it's pretty mind-boggling sometimes.
How big are we talking?
They can be tiny, like maybe a meter across, or huge, up to 600 meters wide,
600 meters. Wow.
and just as deep, potentially, and how they form. Sometimes it's really slow, gradual. Other times, bam, sudden collapse.
Okay, let's dive in. First stop, the Great Blue Hole. That's in Belize, right?
That's the one, often called the most amazing one underwater, a submarine sinkhole.
So what makes it stand out? Apart from being underwater, I guess.
Well, its location is stunning off the coast of Belize, and it's almost perfectly circular. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Over 300 meters across, think 3 football fields, and it goes down 124 meters.
Just this giant blue circle in the sea.
Pretty much in the middle of all that turquoise water, it's visually spectacular.
Incredible. How does something like that even form underwater?
Well, it didn't actually form underwater originally. Its story goes back over 150,000 years.
Wow.
Yeah, during several ice ages, quaternary glaciation.
Okay.
So during those times, huge amounts of water were locked up in ice sheets, so sea levels were much, much lower.
Right, so the cave was dry land back then.
Exactly. What's now this underwater hole was a limestone cave system above sea level. Rainwater, which is slightly acidic, seeped through the rock.
Dissolving the limestone.
Precisely, gradually creating these huge underground caverns. Then the ice ages ended, the glaciers melted,
Sea levels rose,
sea levels rose, flooded these big empty caves, and eventually the roof just couldn't hold up anymore. It collapsed inwards,
creating the blue hole.
creating the Great Blue Hole. So it's not just beautiful, it's like a record of past climate change. You can see the history of sea levels there.
That's a really cool perspective. Okay, so from underwater wonder, let's go to solid ground, Sima Humboldt in Venezuela.
Ah, yes. Sima Humboldt, or Sima Major. This one's just staggering in scale.
Where exactly is it?
It's on the summit of a flat-topped mountain, a plateau, in Bolivar State, Venezuela.
And the size. You said staggering.
It really is. It's 314 meters deep. That's, taller than the Eiffel Tower?
Easily. Wow.
And the width is impressive, too. It starts at 352 meters wide at the top rim.
Uh-huh.
But then it opens up below, getting wider. It's over 500 meters wide down below.
So it bells out like an upside-down funnel.
Sort of, yeah. It's like this giant hidden world just sitting there on top of this mountain.
Incredible. Just the power of nature carving that out. Okay, let's shift gears a bit to a place where sinkholes are.
Well, less of a natural wonder and more of a serious problem. The Dead Sea.
Yeah, this is a really concerning situation, especially near Ein Gedi in Israel. Loads of large sinkholes have been appearing there.
And it's linked to water shortages. That seems counterintuitive almost.
Yeah.
How does less water create holes?
It's about what happens when the Dead Sea's water level drops, which it has been drastically.
Why is it dropping so much?
It's a combination of things. Tourism infrastructure, chemical industries extracting minerals, diverting the rivers that feed it for agriculture and population.
Right, so the water level goes down?
And the land around the shore, which used to be underwater, gets exposed. Now, this ground is full of salt layers, naturally, because it's the Dead Sea.
Then, when fresh water, like from rain or underground aquifers, seeps into this newly exposed salty ground.
It dissolves the salt.
Exactly. Salt dissolves really easily in fresh water, so it creates these underground cavities, these voids, and eventually the surface layer just can't support itself anymore.
And collapses, forming a sinkhole.
That's the process. It's a stark example of how human impact, lowering that water level, is destabilizing the whole area.
And the number of them is alarming, isn't it?
It really is. The sources say over 3,000 open sinkholes along the coast.
3,000.
And potentially just as many more forming underground that haven't collapsed yet. It's made the landscape pretty hazardous. If you're traveling to the Dead Sea or Masada nearby, you can actually see them.
A very visible environmental impact. Okay, let's move to some particularly sudden and tragic examples. Guatemala City. There was a big one in 2007.
Yes, that was shocking. February 23rd, 2007. A huge sinkhole just opened up suddenly, right in a residential area.
How big was it?
Massive.
Mhm.
100 meters deep, almost a perfect circle, straight vertical walls. Just gone.
And people were killed.
Tragically, yes, 5 people lost their lives, and about 1,000 people had to be evacuated from the area around it.
What caused something like that so deep so suddenly?
The main suspect was the infrastructure, specifically a corroded, failing sewage system deep underground.
So, leaks from the pipes.
That's the theory. Leaking water and sewage likely washed away the soil and the loose volcanic deposits the city is built on. Over time, it just hollowed out a massive void beneath the surface.
Until it couldn't hold anymore.
Exactly, just catastrophic failure.
And then, incredibly, it happened again just a few years later.
Yeah, just 3 years later, in 2010, another giant sinkhole. This time, it swallowed a whole 3-story factory.
Oh my God.
And tragically, 15 people died in that event.
How big was the 2010 one?
This one was about 20 meters across, so roughly 65 feet, and about 30 meters or 100 feet deep. Still huge, especially in a city.
Were the causes similar? More infrastructure failure.
It seems like it was a combination of factors this time. There was Tropical Storm Agatha.
Right. Lots of rain.
Exactly, torrential rain saturating the ground. Plus, the Pacaya volcano had erupted recently, depositing ash, which can affect drainage and soil stability.
Okay.
And yes, unfortunately, leaking sewer pipes were likely a contributing factor again, weakening the ground from below.
So a perfect storm of natural events and failing infrastructure.
It appears so. Those Guatemala City examples are just terrifying reminders of the hidden dangers beneath urban areas, especially with aging infrastructure or unstable ground.
Really sobering. Okay, let's shift back to blue holes, but this one has a record-breaking story. Dean's Blue Hole.
That's right. Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas, near Long Island. It holds the title for the world's deepest known blue hole filled with seawater.
Deeper than the Great Blue Hole in Belize.
Oh, yeah, much deeper. Dean's Blue Hole plunges down 202 meters. That's 663 feet.
Whoa, that's incredibly deep. What does it look like for the surface?
At the surface, it's roughly circular, maybe 25 to 35 meters across, so not as wide as the Great Blue Hole initially.
But it goes deeper.
Much deeper. And here's the really interesting part. You go down about 20 meters, and then it just opens up dramatically.
Into what?
Into this huge underwater cavern, about 100 meters in diameter. So it's shaped kind of like like a bell, maybe? Or a champagne flute underwater.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's famous for more than just its depth. A freediver, William Trubridge.
Oh, I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, in December 2010, he set a world record right there. Dove 101 meters down and back up.
On one breath.
On a single breath. No fins, no assistance, just pure human power. An amazing feat in an amazing place.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Okay, let's travel across the globe now to New Zealand.
Harwood Hole.
Right, Harwood Hole.
Right.
This is in the Abel Tasman National Park.
Beautiful area here.
Oh, gorgeous. It's part of the Taka Hill cave systems there. The entrance itself is a pretty clear sinkhole, about 50 meters across, quite round.
And how deep does this one go?
Well, the initial drop, the vertical shaft from the surface, is about 183 meters.
Just straight down, pretty much. And the total depth explored in that cave system is 357 meters.
Wow. And it's in a popular park.
Yeah, Abel Tasman is really famous. Lots of people go there for the coastal track, sea kayaking, beautiful beaches. So this deep hole is right there amidst all that natural beauty.
A dramatic feature in a stunning place.
Mm.
Okay, next up, the big one. Shaosai Tiankeng in China.
Yeah.
The Heavenly Pit.
And it earns that name. This is cited as the world's largest sinkhole.
Okay, how large is large? Give us the numbers.
Get ready. It's 626 meters long,
Okay,
537 meters wide,
right.
and the depth varies between 511 and 662 meters.
662 meters deep. That's
Yeah.
almost impossible to picture.
It's colossal, and the walls are nearly vertical, just plunging straight down. It's more like a giant geological pit than just a hole.
Almost like a canyon, but contained?
Kind of, yeah. And what's really unique about Shaozai Tiankeng is its structure. It's described as doubly nested.
What does that mean?
Imagine 2 enormous bowls, one stacked inside the other. The upper bowl is about 320 meters deep, And then from the bottom of that bowl, there's another drop, the lower bowl, which goes down another 342 meters.
So it just keeps going, like levels.
Exactly. A world within a world. It's truly one of Earth's great natural wonders.
Absolutely incredible. Okay, we've got a couple more that are mentioned a bit more briefly in the sources. The Bama sinkhole in Oman.
Yeah, this one's noted mainly for its location in Oman. It's roughly 30 meters deep, that's about 98 feet, often highlighted as a beautiful spot, a natural swimming pool.
Right. And the last one on this list has a memorable name. The Devil's Toilet Bowl in Florida.
Huh. Yeah, the Devil's Hole near Hawthorne, Florida. It's apparently a bit hidden by plants and stuff.
But people swim there,
It
despite the name.
seems so. It has a small lake in it, and yeah, it's apparently a popular swimming spot. Makes you wonder about the local legends behind a name like that, doesn't it?
It definitely does. Now, as we've gone through all these different types, one source mentioned a comment from someone, Craig Falku, about how they saw these different sinkholes.
Oh, right. Yeah, that was an interesting point. Craig drew a line between the horror, as he put it, of the sudden collapses, like in Guatemala.
The ones in cities causing destruction.
Exactly. And the feeling of nature and beauty he associated with the big natural formations, like the Great Blue Hole or Sima Humboldt, the ones formed in rock away from populated areas.
That's a really insightful take, actually. Because our reaction is totally different, isn't it? Depending on how it formed and where it is.
Absolutely. A giant hole opening suddenly under a factory is terrifying. A massive blue circle in the ocean that inspires awe.
He contrasted the sort of catastrophic urban holes with the naturally sculpted ones.
Yeah. It brings up how we categorize these things and how the human element, the impact on us, really shapes our perception.
So wrapping this up, it's clear sinkholes are way more than just holes, aren't they?
Definitely. We've seen these incredible underwater wonders, these vast natural pits formed over ages.
And also these really dramatic, sometimes tragic collapses right in the middle of cities.
And the formation processes are so varied, too, from super slow geological timescales to almost instantaneous collapses, influenced by nature, but also, as we saw with the Dead Sea in Guatemala, by human activity and infrastructure.
So what's the big takeaway for you listening?
Well, maybe it's just a reminder that the ground beneath us isn't always as solid or stable as we think.
Hmm.
These sinkholes, in all their different forms, they kind of give us a peek into those powerful geological forces constantly at work, often unseen.
It makes you think, doesn't it? About what else might be hidden or the sheer power of the planet just doing its thing right under our feet. Maybe there are other unexpected wonders or hazards still waiting to be discovered